Welcome to a new update. Today we're going to focus on the altcoin portfolio, which have not been doing great, and that's also part of trading. So that's what we will be discussing in this update. What are we going to do? Are we swapping some positions? Are we selling some positions? Are we actually holding on to the positions? That's what we're going to discuss, because that's a question you probably all have at this point, as the markets are turning south after the Silvergate news was released, and also the Mt. Gox rumors are getting into place, and there is an unlock for the ETH Shanghai update. But before we continue, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also check out my free trade letter, which is completely free. Today we're doing Altcoin Friday update, including some setups you could be following. You can find it in the description beneath. And also you can follow my portfolio and the one of our traders. My portfolio has been going up 6% in the past month. This month we're a little bit down, but you can easily follow through the premium platform. And we've got more traders doing trade IDs on both Forex and crypto, which you can all follow in the platform beneath, or with the link through the platform beneath. And also this video is sponsored by our partner BitGet. Get those bonuses if you want to start trading. Our partner is BitGet, where you can also, if you are a member to us, follow my portfolio. When we're looking at the markets at this point, the markets have been running to 25k, and I said during that period that I clearly want to see a structure where we need to have some more consolidation before we can start breaking out. I think above 25k we're going to have a big breakout, and that big breakout will bring us towards 35k or higher. So the first impulse have been taking place, and now we're in a period where we go sideways, which is a great period to start accumulating your positions. And as you see right now, the sentiment is you need to sell your positions because the markets are definitely going to go lower. Well, a few weeks ago people were rushing into positions because of some AI hype, because of some China hype, and that is quickly changed at this point towards the sentiment where people want to get out of the positions. But what should you be doing? You should be buying the red and you should be selling the green. So yesterday we've had the news from Silvergate, which is a crypto on-ramp, which means that many exchanges have been using the bank called Silvergate to actually swap between fiat currencies towards cryptocurrencies. And that one is going bankrupt most likely, as it has been falling by 57% yesterday due to the fact that it's the aftermath of FTX and a few other things that we have been taking place into the markets. Many parties have been saying that they are not doing business with Silvergate anymore. So the impact of the trade that we have been seeing in the past 24 hours is a combination of a few things. And before I'm going to discuss the altcoin portfolio, I think it makes sense to look at the charts to see what the actual reason was for the correction in the markets at this point. I'll just erase this for a little bit. What do we have? Well, first of all, we had the 23.8k resistance level, which we couldn't break through. So I mentioned that if we can't break through it, I'm looking at a case that I'm going to buy around the areas of 22k, which we did hit. So why did that happen? First of all, we've had the fundamental news with Silvergate taking place. There's also some old news around Mt. Gox. There's also some old news about ETH Shanghai update, but it all gets into the picture the moment that something like this starts to take place, right? So once some fear starts to take place into the markets, you get this, and you get those topics that were there already, but it comes into the spotlight to give you some more fear. So you make emotional decisions, which you shouldn't be doing. So what do we see here? We see this rejection at 23.8, which is very similar to the rejection we had here at 23.3. And then we started to nosedive. And in this case, we had some very normal nosedive pictures here, in the sense that we had some retest. Here we didn't have any retest. Why is that? Well, we had these lows, and these lows were taken out. What does that mean? The lows beneath that level, there's usually liquidity because people who have been buying through futures or longs, they have their stop loss beneath that one. So The 23.2 level was an important one as the lows were beneath, or that's the last low, so the stops were moving up and got triggered, and the longs are getting closed by shorts, which we have been seeing or have been taking place in this case, through which there is a cascade of margin calls, and you saw that hundreds of millions were liquidated in this trading cascade. Then second, 23.2k was also the monthly open, so there were a lot of those liquidations or margin calls being placed around that level, which means that you can get this very fast drop towards the next support level, which we have been taking place, and it's just the opposite of what we have been seeing here. What does that mean? This entire structure is a must-hold level, so I don't generally want to see the price of Bitcoin drop below 21.5. If we do, the next level I'm looking at is 19.7, but at this point we have been getting into a stage of this very fast drop. I think we're going to bounce to 22.8, have another correction next week towards here, and then we continue the upwards trend. So I'm not as bearish as the most of you are, hence why I'm still going to stay into my positions, as right now, and this is the ultimate low, my portfolio, which I started 2 weeks ago, you can find the video on my YouTube channel, has been dropping substantially. I've bought $250 of Chainlink, I've bought $150 of Curve, I've bought $100 of RSR, I've bought $200 of Atom, I've bought $100 of AXS, I think, and I've bought some stuff on Lux, which was $200, and that one is the most painful one at this point. So the portfolio is down $150. It is a swing trade portfolio, which means that I stick to the play. However, once it starts to turn around, we can start taking profits and swap between positions, but also we can potentially short or hedge. Those are all things that we are going to do with this portfolio, as that's also things we do with the other portfolios within the platform. At this point, we're simply going to hold. I could swap a few positions. So what I could be doing is that I've got a position of Chainlink, which is a relatively low beta, which means that the variance of the position and the risk is relatively low at this point. I could start saying, hey, I'm going to swap a little bit and move it towards a position like Lux, because Lux will be having a higher rally up as it has been dropping more at this point. I'm not going to do that at this point yet, as I'm still slowly building up this portfolio. My target is to at least go to 10k this year, so make it a 10x portfolio. For now, I'm sticking to Chainlink, which means that if we get a bounce back up, I want to start taking profits to be able to buy back on a lower level, but then also make the adjustment of the profits towards a position like Lux if it still stays low. So that's my play. If you're looking at the markets at this point, I'm going to a few of those positions. Chainlink has been dropping down substantially here. Oh, that's Litecoin, my bad. Chainlink has been dropping massively here in going into the range low at this point. These corrections are quite natural and do take place. Chainlink can still drop towards an area of $6.50 before it starts to move back up. So at this point, I'm just sticking to the position. It's a natural move. My position buys have been wrong. So some evaluation is that probably when I started the portfolio, I should be buying into DCA approach instead of just buying in one portion. But hey, this is a public portfolio. We share everything with you. So also the minus and also the pluses. At this point, the structure remains valid, which means that even though if Chainlink drops to $6.50, I stick to the plan. If you're looking at Curve at this point, Curve is also correcting and coming back into the range low place, and then the question becomes how far can we go with the markets. We can drop towards 70 cents. I'm not expecting we will see that taking place at this point. We are into support, so there's no real reason for me to start looking at selling the positions. I'm argumenting, what would I do at this point? I would be looking into long positions and buying. I don't have liquidity left, so I stick to the play, which means that I stick to the position of Curve at this point. We could still be dropping towards 85 cents or so, but I'm sticking to the play at this point. And today is going to be a vital day to see how strong we could be bouncing back, as the move of Bitcoin is a relatively swift one and a little bit over accelerated towards the downside, as you might know. RSR currently consolidating, doing a very natural retest here. I had some orders placed, but I think that this retest is quite natural. We could to consolidate for a little bit, and my take profit is still the same around this area. If we're going to go towards 70 or 7,000, I'm using RSR to flip that towards Lux if Lux has not been moving at all. So at this point, I'm sticking to RSR, and I'm going to look at Lux, which is the biggest loser at this point. Goes all the way back down towards the range low here, which means that there is a lot of upside potential to be made, significant wick, and I think that anywhere in this area Lux is an absolute must buy, and we have been accumulating this position, or we are into one. I think that in the next few updates we are definitely going to look at a case that we are back towards at least 23 cents or higher. I'm going to use the portfolio for Lux to actually start closing positions around 28 to 32 cents. And then I'm also going to be giving more frequent updates on Twitter and YouTube. So for now, I'm sticking to the positions I'm holding, as my thesis is that at these areas I would have been buying. I have no liquidity left, so I stick to the portfolio. It's down 15%. The next update will be next week. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll see you again next week and also tomorrow for a fresh new update. Ciao!